There's something sacred about the way we remember our food, not just the meals themselves, but everything they carry, the rituals, the voice at the table, the unspoken rules that shape how we see ourselves through what we eat. I grew up being told to never leave a single grain of rice behind, that there are children who don't get to eat 3 times a day, let alone enjoy snacks, that a clean plate was a sign of gratitude, a kind of moral currency exchanged between a child and the world. But somewhere in between good intentions and silent expectations, I learned something else too. That food wasn't just nourishment, it was performance. Eat too much, and the judgment falls like a shadow. Eat too little, and the questions come like an interrogation. You should eat more. You're too thin. You should eat less. You're getting big. In both versions, I was somehow wrong. What started as a simple act of finishing meals turned into an entire narrative about my worth. And it followed me like an echo. Through school lunch tables, weekend buffets, birthday cakes. Even in silence, the noise remained. I remember punishing myself at the gym, not because I wanted to grow stronger, but because I wanted to shrink, to take up less space, to erase the evidence of every second serving or emotional bite. And I call that discipline. I call that control. But really, it was shame dressed up as a structure. It was fear disguised as fitness. And the saddest part is, I thought it was normal. Social media didn't help much either. There's always someone preaching the perfect meal plan. Someone suggesting that skipping meals is a virtue. Someone tying morality to macros. But food isn't moral. It's not good or bad. It's a language, a history, a celebration. It's the smell of garlic in a pan that reminds you of home. It's a street food you once shared with friends after exams. It's a Sunday meal your grandmother made with love and repetition. So why did it become something I had to survive instead of savor? Maybe it's because I wasn't taught to trust my body. Maybe it's because I was taught that hunger was weakness, that fullness was failure, that satisfaction was suspicious. It took moving across the world for that narrative to start unraveling. Here, in Canada, I learned to cook just for myself, not to impress, not to track, not to punish, but to enjoy. A simple bowl of soup on a rainy night, a warm plate of rice and eggs eaten slowly. These moments reminded me that food didn't have to come with commentary. It could just be good. And slowly, my mindset shifted. I stopped labeling food as clean or dirty. I stopped equating fullness with failure. Now, I eat when I'm hungry. Sometimes when I'm sad. Sometimes just because something smells too good to pass up. And that's okay. I no longer need to earn my meals through exhaustion or deprivation. I no longer need to punish myself for enjoying dinner. Instead, I let food be a conversation between body and mind, between culture and curiosity, between the version of me that was scared to eat and a version that now finds joy in every bite. There's still work to do. Some days, the old voices return, but they're quieter now. And I've grown louder in response. Because I've realized that how I feed myself is also how I care for myself. And I want to do both with kindness. So if you're listening to this and food has ever felt complicated, I want you to know you're not alone. You're allowed to enjoy your meals, to make mistakes, to have seconds, to change your mind. Food doesn't need to be battlefield. It can be a bridge back to culture, back to joy, back to who you are beneath all the noise. So here's to eating halfway. Here's to fullness, not just of the stomach, but of life. Here's to being half full, half healing, and wholly human. And if that sounds imperfect, that's exactly the point.